Well, of course, because Murray Dennis is the one with the real talent compared to Nelson Nelson.
Yeah, you're going to say that children's songwriting is actually takes more talent than writing regular songs, Cal?
Of course I will. I mean, honestly, anyone can get up on a piano and just play a melody and write some melancholy love song about a girl that they miss. But keeping a child entertained for 4 minutes? I mean, honestly, I can think of 3 ways to do that, and one of them is through song.
Well, that's absolutely, I mean, you're not wrong in that one. Keeping a child entertained for that long of a time.
I mean,
it's very
then
difficult.
You can always give them a nice little belly tickle. That will keep them entertained.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I suppose if you're a parent, you might want to be able to do that.
Yeah, parent or a legal guardian.
Okay, let's. So Nelson in the navy blue, Murray Dennis in what appears to be. Is that supposed to look like corn on the side of his shorts? I suppose so. I guess there we go. Nelson in the navy blue, Murray Dennis in the corn.
I think that might be either a cactus pear or possibly some form of yellow squash as well. Hard to tell.
Well, he does love his vegetables. I understand Nelson really just raised the ire of Murray Dennis. He said he's listened to some of his songs and he says, I gotta tell you, everything is terrible that I've listened to of Murray Dennis. It really is. And I think Murray Dennis is just, you can see he's got on the front foot, got Nelson backing down, looking to hope to counter, I think, is Nelson.
Well, quite frankly, I think Murray Dennis just has a deeper understanding of the music industry. I mean, let's be frank. When's the last time that you went out to the store and you were like, you know what I need? I need some of that good old adult contemporary. I need an acoustic guitar and a song that's about losing a relationship.
Well, I think that's what kept Jack Johnson in the music business for so long.
Well, that and his tremendously large erect penis, but we won't talk about that.
Oh, well, speaking of erect, Nelson has just forced Murray Dennis to stiffen up by putting him on a guillotine 6 minutes to go. Of course, 10-minute first round, 5-minute second round if necessary. The marathon followed by the sprint. That is customary to KUMITE here in Japan. And, well, Dennis is able to...
Nice escape there. Aims for the head kick and misses. Now a couple hooks from Murray Nelson. Again with the clinch work. Really nice clinch and grappling work here from the standing position from both.
You know, I think for that last minute, I think we can clearly see that Nelson is going to be very happy. Keeping it nice and close range. Grappling, clinching, dirty boxing like that. Murray Dennis, you can see he's backing up right now. Wants to get the range found a little bit better. I think it's going to be a range battle the entire fight.
Yeah, you can tell that Murray Nelson wants to be mid to long range with possible groundwork. Well, Nelson wants to keep everything close.
Nice and close.
Nelson had the perfect opportunity to end that fight, but he backed away. He needed to stay in close after that uppercut.
He did. That's absolutely true. Good astute. Oh, Nelson! Oh, just dropped him like he dropped a bass. Well, you might as well call him the bass man. Nelson. Oh, from a nice, good sprawl by Nelson, trying to just, well, Dennis able to work his way back up. Oh, nice into a bit reckless in that overhand. He was lucky he connected. I think I could have just made him wide open.
Oh, I mean, great guts from Murray Nelson. I mean,
Murray Dennis, really. I think it is, just to be honest. It's Nelson, Murray Dennis.
I'm sorry. I've had a little bit too much cocktail to imbibe, and, you know, I went and had some sushi earlier that had a little parasitic fish in it, so I'm a little bit off kilter right now, so I apologize.
Fair enough. 2.5 minutes to go. Nelson pushing Dennis up to the corner, that corner padding. You know, again, it's not like a cage. I don't think.
No.
Very different ring awareness than cage awareness. You gotta. That padding of the turnbuckle might be the corner of the ring is the only real actual support you have.
Yeah, if you're trying to get an escape or get to a standing position, that's the best bet you have. Otherwise, it's just pure gut gumption, your own muscularity and vascularity. Again, more clinch work from Nelson. Really nice job there. Murray Dennis showing great heart and great fortitude, but I don't know how much more he can take in terms of...
Well, there's so much on the line for both these two. I mean, Murray Dennis wants to make a huge debut, does not want to lose in his opening fight here in KUMITE. You know, he's got a limited amount of time to impress, a limited amount of time to score some points, perhaps to make himself eligible for the 93 kilogram KUMITE tournament starting in August. Well, it's Nelson. I mean, he's lost 2 in a row. Granted, to very top-notch opponents like Barbara and like Miami-Dade County are defending KUMITE tournament champion. That's going to be at the end of round 1. But Nelson's got to feel like his back is against the wall. He's got to feel like he doesn't want to drop to 3 losses in a row.
Oh, I mean, like, if he drops to 3 losses in a row, there is probably no way he's going to be in the 93 kilo tournament coming up in August.
We'll have to see. I mean, there are more chances, of course, between now and it being March. Of course, between March and August is a long time. Still more times for you to recover, get another fight under your wings. And just like Murray Dennis, I think a good showing. That's, again, the thing for those unfamiliar with the Japanese crowd. They, even in a losing effort, if you can put on a good show, you really will win over the fans. And, of course, the fans do have a vote. They do get the opportunity to vote in one of the 16 combatants in the KUMITE tournament. So if they like Nelson, if they like Murray Dennis, and they know that they're not eligible through the automatic qualification means, then they can easily vote in either of those two.
And don't forget, if they have the great heart and the great performance, I mean, most honorable Chairman Naga might give them the entrance as well.
Yes,
so,
most glorious and honorable Mr. Naga, of course, does get a selection of his own as well.
So as long as you're showing great heart and great intestinal fortitude, it doesn't have to be about wins and losses. And let's be frank, wins and losses right now in the off time doesn't matter nearly as much as wins and losses in the 93 kilo tournament.
Now, of course, as the ranking system works, the majority amount of points are given from progression into the 93 kilogram tournament. So missing a tournament for an entire year's tournament, like Nelson did in 2015, can be absolutely detrimental to your record. And of course, you know, you don't want to bank on most glorious and honorable Mr. Naga. We've seen some of the record of who he's selected for the most glorious and honorable selection. Last year it was Sergei Matryoshka making a debut here in KUMITE at 93 kilograms. I mean, he tends to use that to bring in. Oh, Nelson, big right hand,
but counters, grabs the kick and counters. He's
gutting it out. Wonderful awareness by. And he's out.
Oh my God!
Oh, and there's some extra punches. I don't think that's necessary, but Hyundai Sonata allowed Murray Dennis.
What heart! What gumption! What a Beja Boogie!
What an extraneous amount of punches to an unconscious man!
Points!
But of course, there we see the right hand, and he was out before he even hit the canvas, Cal. And those extra punches, I think Murray Dennis knew. But, you know, you make a man angry, you talk about his craft, and the mouth guard is even out. Oh, there could be some missing teeth.
Well, that is very unfortunate for Nelson. He's lost even more momentum.
He put on a very good showing, I must admit that, but my word, he
had 3 opportunities to finish, but just couldn't, and Murray Dennis capitalized on the last one.
I think right now we have to be very happy that Nelson is, in fact, standing, and nice to see a good Bushido spirit. No hard feelings, you know, I just punched you when you were unconscious twice, but hey, I'll shake your hand, I suppose. But